covering the stories that impact your life, your town, your state, and your future. This is the Means Report with your host, Brad Means.
Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to the Means Report. We certainly appreciate you spending part of your day with us, where today we're going to sort of stay in the medical field. That should be our theme today, I suppose, as we talk about breast cancer and breast health. Important information, not just for women, but for everybody, to make sure that they're in the best health possible. And of course, it's all because of a huge event that's coming up in Augusta in just a few short days, the Miracle Mile Walk that benefits Piedmont Augusta Foundation and all the great work that it does. Dr. Brooks Keel, the president for now, right, of Augusta University, is going to talk to us before he retires in just a few short months, and we'll find out everything that's going on at AU. And of course, we'll wrap up this edition of the Means Report with ways that you can stay in touch with us and help us book more great guests like Dr. Cooper and Dr. Keel. Dr. Randy Cooper is our first guest. He has helped women for generations to maintain the best health possible, to hold their hand after a breast cancer diagnosis. Dr. Cooper, thank you for what you do for our community and for being with me.
Thank you, and thank you for what Channel 6 has done for us all these years.
It's our pleasure, for sure. And I can't believe it's Miracle Mile Walk again time. I know that a lot of people know what it is. It raises awareness about breast cancer, all those people in their pink outfits walking downtown. But how does it raise money? Kind of give me a feel for the event itself.
Let me back you up to 2001 when we started. We actually had about 24 people show up for the first walk.
Wow.
And we raised less than $5,000. Today, we're hoping we'll probably have somewhere between 10, 12,000. One time we had 14,000 people. Unreal. And we've raised up to $400,000 plus dollars. But it's basically individuals, corporations. We encourage people to put together teams.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
And we put teams together, and the lady walked up to me yesterday, in fact, and said, my team's already got $10,000. She says, but I heard another team may have $12,000.
Oh, wow.
And it's just phenomenal how individuals raise money. But I must say our corporate sponsors are most generous, to say the least. And of course, the doctors will say, a lot of them say, if you give $1,000, I'll match your $1,000. Mm-hmm. So, but it's just a wide way we raise the money.
Where's it go?
Every penny stays in Augusta, Georgia, for mammograms for people who either cannot afford a mammogram, people who are underinsured. Our goal is to make sure every woman gets a screened mammogram. And without the Miracle Mile Walk and the $300,000 or $400,000 we raise every year, that'd be hundreds and hundreds of people who would not get a mammogram. For an example, with our mobile mammography unit, we have given free 80,000 mammograms. We have found 375 breast cancers. And when you put it in that perspective, it makes you realize just what we're doing.
How old should a woman be when they get a mammogram? It seems like this answer has changed over the years.
It changes. Well, it's changed. It's been argued a lot too. But we and American Society of Breast Surgeons,
right.
They recommend every year starting at age 40. But if your mother had breast cancer at 42, you should get your mammogram at 32, 10 years prior to that.
Okay.
People who have some of these genetic mutations, they should probably start getting an MRI when they're 25 years old, plus diagnostic ultrasounds. Mammograms in real young women, and a lot of times their breasts are very dense and it's difficult to pick up a breast cancer. But anybody who's got any sort of genetic problem, we start them much, much younger.
What would be an example of a genetic mutation?
Let's say a BRCA1 or a BRCA2 mutation. They make up close to 50% of all the genetic mutations. Those people should start at age 25 with an MRI. And of course, those people also have a very high risk of having ovarian carcinoma, so we like to get involved the gynecologist in screening and following them, as well as the surgeons and the medical oncologists.
Do you recommend breast self-exams anymore? It seems like those went away a few years ago as well.
Well, there's some people who say you shouldn't waste time and money on self-breast examination.
Right.
But if you're less than 40 years of age and you got a breast lump and you don't check your breast, we know that people get breast cancer in their 30s. Some even get them in their 20s. So no matter what has been said, I think surgeons as a whole, we think that's just a crazy recommendation.
What would you say, and maybe this applies more to men, but let's just say for this conversation it applies to the women we're trying to reach today, that someone would rather just not know? that maybe they do find a lump or something doesn't feel right, but they're too fearful of the process that begins once they go to Piedmont. Kind of take that fear away if you can.
Well, that's not uncommon. I can tell you, we have people show up every day with a large lump who says, well, I found it last Christmas and I just was scared to come in. But I think part of it is what we're trying to do through this Miracle Mile Walk, and what we do every October is educate people that you can be a survivor. If you find it, I tell people all the time, I don't want to find your breast lump in my office. I want a radiologist to find your lump in a dark room when it's still real small and the cure rate is 90+%.
What's it like when, and maybe this is more of a feeling than something that could be put into words, but what's it like when those survivors get together, when they're shoulder to shoulder at the Miracle Mile Walk? Do they just get strength from one another?
Well, I think so. It's just a great celebration. And part of the Miracle Mile Walk is, of course, to make people aware of breast cancer, make them aware of a mammogram. But it's also to celebrate all these survivors. Right now, there are, and I didn't know this number just last week, 6.8 million survivors in America. 6.8 million. And we want to celebrate them, but we also want to reach out to those who lost their battle with breast cancer and try to comfort those families.
Absolutely. Give us a quick snapshot, if you can, about what the Piedmont team does after a diagnosis. Are you just hands-on from day one to make sure that the patient never feels alone?
That's exactly why we start. If, let's just say today you find a lump in your breast, or the radiologist tells you got an abnormal mammogram. We're going to see you today. We're going to biopsy your breast today and have you an answer tomorrow. I try not to bring people into my office the very next day. I like for them to have maybe 48 hours to absorb a little bit of what I've taught. Then we bring them in. We run them through our breast health center where they're educated. If they need to be genetically tested, they get genetically tested at that time. We also have a boutique there to show them while they're there that if you end up needing chemotherapy, we're going to provide you a hairpiece. We got the turbans, hats, jewelry, nightgowns, breast prosthesis, bras. We got the whole, everything you're ever going to need right in that office while you're there getting your education. And then typically they come downstairs to our office and we sit there, talk to them, show them pictures, walk them through it 45 minutes to an hour, whatever it takes. We try to convert a sad face when you walk in to a smile when you walk out.
It's just beautiful, the work that you all do.
And then we not only stop there. Once we get you through the surgery, because we're going to bring you back, we check on you, but we're going to follow you. We have a survivorship program where we follow you for the rest of your life, really, and it's to help them make sure they get the mammogram, make sure they get colonoscopies, make sure they get the GYN checks, educate them and all of what we call good health stuff, and sort of reassure them forever.
Probably my last question. I know our time always flies by, but it's just a two-part question. How are things going at Piedmont? Do you like the new bosses over there? And do we still need nurses? I always hear of a nursing shortage.
Well, Piedmont, it's like a marriage when you're starting out, but I think we're going to be, we had sort of got to a point in certain services where we need some help, and I think they're stepping up. They brought $1 billion to the community to invest about $100 million a year into our system, and we feel good about that. Our new CL is just a wonderful lady, and she wants to reach out and help people, make sure we got a great emergency room and all the other services we do. It's her goal to make us the best. So we're encouraged by that. And the other thing, the second question,
nurses.
Nurses, good gracious, everybody needs nurses.
Yeah.
It's just a tremendous shortage of them. And the problem is the travel nurses, they can go somewhere and make 2 to 3 times somewhere else that they can make if they're living in your community.
Yeah.
But we want to invest in people who want to live in Augusta, who want to be a part of this community, who have their heart and soul here. Those are the nurses we want.
Yeah, young men and women who are watching today, pursue a career in nursing. There are tons of well-paying jobs out there. Dr. Randy Cooper, as always, thank you for being my guest, but more than that, thanks for helping us be as healthy as we can.
Thank you. Thank you very much for all you do and this station does. Thank you.
Absolutely. Dr. Randy Cooper, Piedmont Hospital. Go to the Miracle Mile Walk. It is coming up Saturday, and it is going to be a big time downtown. When we come back, we're going to talk to the president of Augusta University, Dr. Brooks Keel, ask him why in the world he's retiring and everything that's going on campus. I know he'll be excited to share a lot of news with you all on the Means Report.